I just want to take a minute or two and share an opportunity with you. I know that all of you give back at a very, very high level to your communities, to the things that are important to you. Certainly you know that we've, through the years, supported a lot of different things and asked a lot of people to get involved. We've certainly done the Bethel School where Larry's, one of the daughters he adopted from China came from. And I just wanted to tell you a minute or two about Nicaragua and some things we've done. You can see on the screen here, there are some pictures that are being gone through of, I think it was our first trip actually in 2005. I've gone 9 times now to Nicaragua. Tom Fleege's here, a lot of others. Tom, you've been 6 times, 5 times, okay? And I know a lot of our Canadian members have gone. We're a lot of new members, and we just wanted to take an opportunity to say, hey, this may be something that you might be interested in joining us, because we are doing a trip the first week of February. I have with us 2 of the people that are very, very active involved. One, Mark Rollins, who was the guy that came in at our extreme networking meeting, probably our 3rd or 4th one. It was in Key Largo, at the Key Largo Club. And he got up and talked about this thing he had done. He had gone to Nicaragua, and oh my gosh, and he was showing the pictures, and there weren't too many dry eyes in the audience. So I said, okay, I want to go, but I want to put together a trip just with our members. So Mark Rollins, who was one of the original board members of Bridges, got us involved, and I'm going to ask him to say a few words, or excuse me, we're going to have Heather go first, excuse me. Heather Doherty from the Flanders Group, one of our mastery members, okay. She just got promoted, but Heather is very, very involved. She's been how many times now?
9 times.
9 times, including a family trip she just took with her daughter. And Heather is actually on the board of Bridges to the Community. So Heather?
Mark wanted to go last, so he's the closer, so I go in between.
First or last, never in the middle.
So I'll just share a little bit of how I got to Nicaragua and what it meant to me. Through my 30s, I really spent most of my energy building my career and raising young children. And as I got close to turning 40, I made a list of things I wanted to do. I was going to run a marathon, I was going to finally learn how to cook, and I was going to find a charity to give back to. So I joined Roger and Mark on their 2nd trip, and I gave back, but I got so much more. So this is an opportunity where you can spend a week, you can see by the pictures, working hard and really living how most of the world lives in poverty, and you'll give back, but you will get so much more. So if you have an inkling, if you think it's something you might want to do, I would just encourage you to take the trip and join us next year, because it's truly amazing. And since I turned 40, I have run 5 marathons. I've been to Nicaragua 9 times. I still can't cook.
That was great. Thank you. Like Roger said, we don't want to stand up here and preach about how important it is to give back. We know you're all doing that, probably at a very high level. But we've also talked a lot this week about ROI, return on investment. And I will tell you, this 7-day trip has an ROI for you personally that is priceless, the MasterCard commercial. It's an experience unlike anything that anyone has ever had. And I look out in the audience and I can see people who have gone and they're nodding their heads. 10 years ago, I was 45 years old. It was actually 10 years ago this month. And my son Jonathan, all right, my son Jonathan, who was a 10th grader, came to me and said, Dad, the church is doing a mission trip in February during the school break to go to Nicaragua, and I really want to go. I know we normally go skiing, but this is what I want to do, and I really want you to come with me. So I didn't say anything at first, because inside I said, are you crazy? There's no way in the world I'm going to Nicaragua, and I'm not going to give up my ski trip either. So I said to him, well, you know, it's interesting. Let me think about it a little bit. And I did, and I thought about it for 2 weeks, and I decided to go. And I was scared, and I was nervous. I bought kidnap ransom insurance. I had no idea what I was going to get. But I vividly remember my first day in the community, walking with friends. You can see in the pictures and in here the lushness of the countryside. But as we got to the village, we were going to meet the 2 families that we were going to build houses for. And the landscape with the green trees and the dirt, amongst all of that were these houses. And houses that you can see up here, and this is a picture of it. You know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but when you see it and it's real, it's frightening and it tears your heart up. And you meet these families, and the interesting thing is, they're the poorest people that I've ever met, but we refer to them as material poor, because they really don't have much stuff and things. But what they have inside, they're rich, richer than we are, richer than we ever could be. And you can learn a tremendous amount on this trip from these people. And the learning started right away. We arrived, they expected us, they were dressed up, they'd swept in front of their houses, they swept the dirt. You can see in this picture here, there's a little broom in the corner. Every morning they get up and sweep in front of their house. They had cookies, they had soda for us. They have no money, they have nothing. They earn $2 or $3 a day. The gratitude that you receive during the week is very difficult to take in. And the humility that you feel is incredible. For the next 4 days, we lived in the community just like they do. Cots, mosquito nets, rice and beans, bucket showers. It's incredible. But I remember the first night, laying in my cot, wrapped in a mosquito net, and I was scared, I was tired, I wanted to go home, trying to read a book with a light. And I remember the noises all night long, dogs barking, roosters crowing. You're in a little room with a lot of people, there's snoring, there's farting, there's all sorts of stuff going on.
Makes you want to go, doesn't it?
You just don't want to be there. But then I remember in the morning, I finally fell asleep and I woke up. There was light in the room. It was about 7 o'clock. There were a couple of people up and about. Everyone was being quiet. But I heard outside the window children, a lot of children.
Ask them to join us.
And I was obviously curious. We were staying in a schoolyard. So I got up, I crawled out from underneath the net, pulled my pants on, got out of the sleeping bag, and I stood up and looked out the window, and there were hundreds of kids waiting to go to school. But the amazing thing was, the boys had blue pants that were pressed, the girls had skirts, frilly socks, black shiny shoes, white shirts, combed hair. Lesson number 2, how on earth did these kids come out of these homes in the dark and get dressed to go to school? You know what it's like in our homes, what we need to do to get the kids ready for school. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. You know, I can't guarantee you'll have exactly the same experience that I had, or that Roger had, or Heather had, but I can guarantee you 2 things. Number 1, you're going to come back different than when you left, different in a good way. And the second thing that I can guarantee is that you're going to come back unsettled about the world in which we live. And you're going to want to do everything in your power every day to make the world better. Your community, your family, your state, your business, the world. And you'll be driven to do that. Now, I know this is not for everybody. I know everyone seems to be paying attention, but some of you mentally have checked out, and that's fine. This isn't for everybody. But if you are on the fence, or climbing up on the fence, or thinking about it, do it. Do it for 2 reasons. One, because there's a need, and your work there for a week will be so impactful, you won't be able to comprehend it. And the second reason to do it is do it for yourself. This is an MBA on life. It's something that you can't read about, you can't watch a movie, I can't do it for you. You need to experience it, and you will go back. You know, when I got back from my first trip, I knew I needed to share this with as many people that I could, and for 7 years, I went twice a year and took more than 200 people to share this experience. I shared it with Roger, so it was a gift to me from my son. I gave it to Roger. Roger has given it to you today. I would take this gift and do something with it. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. You know, what's really good is when you have somebody with passion and you say, okay, you each get to do a 30-second commercial. No, it was very good. Again, it's not for everybody. I'm just saying, let's make sure that we all give back to what's important to us. You've got a break.